welcome to the Epic Radio Show. I am your host, Epic. We have a special show for you today. We're going to be covering the missing scientists that you might have seen in the news lately. We're going to talk about facts, possible patterns, and then at the end, we're going to have people call in and give their opinion on it. Before I jump into this, I do want to introduce my co-host. Welcome, Amy.
Hi.
Yes. Yeah. How was your week so far?
Busy as always.
Yeah. We both did a lot of research. Well,
Yeah, but listen, we're not experts.
we're not
We're
experts in
gonna
any
yeah.
way. I wouldn't call myself an expert in anything, honestly. Literally nothing. So there's probably going to be some things that we get wrong. Please don't sue us because we have
Don't have any
no
money.
experience with this type of research, and this is a new thing for us too. So we are going to try to do as much as we can with this, but yeah. So let's just jump right into it. So first off, there's been multiple scientists tied to sensitive U.S. research programs that have died or gone missing. Federal involvement includes the FBI and congressional inquiry, and cases span multiple years. This is between 2022 and 2026 in different circumstances. There's no confirmed single connection between the cases, but I will say that I've found a couple things that are kind of weird. So Amy, do you want to start off with let me jump with the first, because you know a little bit more about her than I do.
We're starting with
Amy.
Amy Eskridge.
Yeah, Amy with Amy. So
okay.
Let's jump right in and let's talk about Amy Eskridge a little bit.
Right. So Amy Eskridge is a scientist and she was working in advanced propulsions, whatever that is. Right? But she was only loosely connected to government agencies. I think she was a private researcher, right?
She was, and she does have a connection with William Neal McCaslin, who was the one that kind of got all of this going. Now, we are going in order of disappearance and not necessarily in order of importance. Just to kind of build a timeline of what's going on.
I mean, she's still an important person.
She is, but no, I mean, right. As far as like
what kicked this whole
what
thing
kicked
off.
it all off, yes.
Right. Yes. So McCaslin disappeared.
Yes.
And then people started looking into all of these other scientists that disappeared.
Yes.
Yeah, so Amy Eskridge, she was working on her propulsion stuff. And she, from some of her friends, right? It seems like she thought somebody was stalking her, somebody in a Lexus, right? And she said that there was this Lexus, like, scouting out her apartment, and they kept changing the license plates. And then she accused whoever was driving that Lexus of stealing her underwear. I don't know.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah. So, I mean, if it did have something to do with aliens, you know, they like to do their anal probing.
That's right.
But yeah, and then Amy Eskridge, she had sent some text messages to, I think, another scientist friend of hers.
Yeah.
Saying, if I die and they say it was a suicide, it definitely wasn't a suicide. So,
which, funnily enough, her death was ruled as a suicide. So that's really odd, right?
Yeah, it could be, and it could, you know, because if somebody has like paranoid schizophrenia, right? They're out of their mind. It might have been something like that, but it also might have been true, right?
Yeah, and I'm a moron because this is definitely not in order. like the outline I created and the order of the deaths
The order,
or that's different.
yeah, Amy Eskridge was 2025.
Yeah.
The first one I think was Michael David Hicks. That was
it was
2023.
Yeah, we'll get into him in a minute.
Sorry.
No, you're good. That was my fault. So, anything else you wanted to cover with Amy, real quick?
Amy Eskridge. No.
Well, one thing that I thought was interesting too, she actually worked. She created this research company with her father, I believe. Is that the one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she wasn't directly linked with the government, but she had to have federal approval for a lot of stuff that she was working on. And I know they were working on like anti-gravity or gravity experiments, and I believe what was it, plasma or something like that.
Yeah, I think her dad was working with the plasma,
Yeah.
but together they were working on the anti-gravity. And I think they were trying to have some of their research published to some kind of government agency.
Yeah.
And they rejected it.
They rejected it, and then she had mentioned that she was going to put it out in like 30 days, and that never happened.
Yeah, because that Lexus got her.
Yeah. All right, so let's jump. You know what? Since we're already kind of going out of order, let's go to the next one on the outline. So that one would be Joshua LeBlanc. So for him, he was a NASA scientist. His car was found 2 hours away from his home. He stopped for 4 hours at an airport. All of his belongings, even his phone, was left at home. He drove a Tesla, which collects all of the driving data. He left the airport and drove down back roads for 2 hours before he crashed. And when they found the car, there was a body inside burnt beyond recognition. I think that's very odd. Like all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see if there's any additional information here too. Now this happened. What was his name again?
Joshua LeBlanc.
Why is he not on here? He's on the outline, but he's not in the.
He's in some of the notes. He's in this one here.
There's so many. There's like 11 of these cases,
right,
guys. So, and we're kind of like going to backtrack and stuff like that, and it's very interesting, but also very confusing.
Yeah, because I mean, any news broadcast that you're looking into this stuff, they all have different lists, right? Some of them, they just have a couple people. Some of them have one of the lists had mentioned people like CIA agents in Mexico busting like a meth lab in the forest.
Yeah, it's
what
so
does that
weird.
have to do with anything?
Here we come to. You want to talk about William Neal McCasland?
Well, I wanted to talk about Josh LeBlanc a little bit.
Go ahead.
Right, because the thing that I find strange about that is that so he's driving a Tesla. We have all of this Tesla data, right? We know he stopped at the airport for 4 hours. We know he took 2 hours of back roads, and then his car crashed, blew up. So his car is burnt to smithereens. So, his body is burnt beyond recognition.
Yeah.
Right? That's how bad this alleged fire was in his car.
Yeah.
Why didn't it burn that black box that keeps all of the Tesla data about where he was driving? Why was that the only thing that was not burnt to smithereens?
Maybe we should have Elon Musk on the show and ask him. No, I'm joking. No, I don't want him on the show. But anyways, but that is interesting. I wonder if, it's almost like a black box situation, like on airplanes, where it has to burn for so long at a certain temperature before that's affected.
I don't know. I don't believe it. It's like that Stanley Cup. Remember that Stanley Cup that was left in the car that caught on fire and it still had ice in it? No. That the black box from the Tesla, I mean, this guy's body was burnt beyond recognition. So
now I want to also ask, like, I mean, how it'd have to be a really bad crash for that to happen, right? Because the battery is in the back of the Tesla. It's not in the
Mhm.
front, right?
Mhm.
And usually when people crash, especially if he's on a back road, if it's woods or whatever, it's going to be a head-on collision, right?
Mhm.
So what would cause the battery to to catch fire like that to where he, you know what I mean, where he's burnt that badly?
Exactly. That's exactly my point. So, and it was a Tesla. That's what makes it strange. That's an electric car. So, there's no fuel, right? To
Yeah,
keep the
yeah,
fire. I mean, yeah, you can have an electrical fire, but you have a car made out of metal. There's no fuel in it.
yeah.
How
That's a good point.
I don't think this guy is dead. Kind of. If I want to go down a little rabbit hole, right? So there's some burnt up body in there
Mm-hmm.
that's burnt beyond recognition, and they're just assuming it's him. Yet this black box data that his Tesla was tracking for him,
Yeah.
that's perfectly fine. And also, how did your car burn up that bad if it's an electric car? There's no fuel to
To yeah,
feed,
feed the
yes, to
fire.
feed it.
Yeah,
Right. There's no
absolutely.
fodder. I don't know.
No, that's a good point. I didn't think
Mhm.
about that.
Mhm.
Huh.
And why did they stop at the airport
Yeah,
for
for
4
4 hours.
hours?
Like, what were you doing?
They
Like,
were picking up the body to put in there and pretend like it was Joshua LeBlanc.
that's a good. That's a
Yeah,
yeah.
meanwhile, who knows where this guy is?
I mean, did they test the DNA? Like, do they?
I don't think so. They said that his body was burnt beyond recognition. And then
You could still get DNA from that, though, right?
I don't know. Listen, I'm not a scientist,
Yeah.
so don't come at me,
Let's see.
government.
I'm gonna look it up real quick. Let's see. We're gonna look that up because obviously we didn't do enough research on that. Um, can DNA be lifted off of a burnt corpse? I would assume so.
What is this person talking about the Olive Garden?
I don't know.
Can I win some free epic radio
Yeah,
show Olive
yeah.
Garden?
So DNA can be lifted and successfully recovered from a burnt corpse. So, um, DNA often survives within the teeth and deep bone marrow because they are protected from heat. However, high temperatures above 350 and 550 degrees Celsius significant can cause significant degradation. I can't talk for shit today, making recovery challenging and decreasing the probability of obtaining a full profile. Hmm, that's interesting to me. I don't know. So there is a possibility that they can pull DNA, but not a full profile. Now, what I've learned recently is that law enforcement tends to identify 13 markers. They don't usually do a full DNA profile. So I have heard cases, and and seen just random things on TV that seems to make me believe that they can actually manipulate that data to kind of create like a false positive, if that makes sense.
A false positive identification?
Yes, with
Yeah.
DNA.
Yeah. I mean, if you're stealing scientists, what's preventing you from doing that, right? I don't know. I just think it's weird that the black box data was perfectly fine, yet this guy is burnt to a crisp.
Well, A Gold mentioned that batteries explode.
Yeah, that's all
So
fine.
that
That's all fine and dandy. A battery might explode and cause a little fire, but this car
well,
is made out of
those are big batteries, though.
metal. Well, what is a car made out of? Metal, plastic. It's not made out of
The
wood.
interior.
There's no fodder for the fire. Yeah, the interior, yeah, the fabric from his seats, but that burns up and then there's no other kindling for this fire and there's no fuel to keep the fire going long enough for his body
I
to
don't
be
know.
burnt.
I can kind of see both points, to be honest with you.
I
Like,
believe it.
all right, so you want to move on to William Neal McCaslin?
Yeah.
All right, let's do that. So he is the main one that kind of got everything started, with all of the congressional insights and hearings and all that stuff, and it really kicked off the investigation. Go ahead.
Me?
Yeah, because I did. I started off with we're going to do every other.
Okay. Neal McCaslin. Hold on.
No, you're good. So I'll start off at least with this.
Sorry.
He was a U.S. Air Force Major General. He was stationed in Ohio near Dayton at what was the name of the Air Force base?
The Wright-Patterson Air Force Base.
There you go.
But he was retired, so he was at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base several years before this disappearance.
Yeah.
Right. And the thing about Wright-Patterson Air Force Base is all of the materials from Roswell were transferred there. Right? So if you go to Roswell now, you know, it's just some hokey town with all their little alien stuff in the museum, whatever. All of the real stuff, the good stuff, is at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, which is where McCaslin was working prior to his retirement.
Yeah, for like 2 years. And he oversaw, I want to say it was like $2.2 billion of research, specifically with classified weapon systems. And obviously, this is the same Air Force base that the Roswell UFO crash, all of this from like I want to say 43. Is that right?
Yeah.
You know, the infamous UFO crash. All of that material, which a lot of people believe was sent to Area 51, it was actually, in fact, sent to this Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. So it's a little interesting to talk about kind of where all these people land with their studies. There's a lot of them that are connected to like UFOs or weapon systems or gravity, space. Like there's just a lot of stuff that they do have in common, but there's also a lot of stuff, as we'll cover later, that they do not. Let's see. They say not to throw batteries in the trash for that reason. John Johnson, this is so interesting. I love this deep dive, really getting my gears turning. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right. So, go ahead with your Neal McCaslin. I just wanted to jump in there for a second.
Sure. Yeah, so Neal McCaslin was like a big dude. I don't know. Well, the thing that I find weird about the McCaslin case is that his wife went to a doctor's appointment earlier that day.
Mm-hmm.
She left home, whatever. She comes back at noon and he's gone. He left his phone, he left his glasses, he took a gun. The thing that I find strange about it is that 3 hours after he disappeared, she called to file a missing persons report on him. The reason I think that's odd is because sometimes people leave. They run to the grocery store, they go do errands, right, without telling their spouse about it.
Yeah.
So why did she call in a missing persons report after just 3 hours?
That is interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she sounded very worried. But also, I will say about the two of them, they were both going to get mental health services. Huh. She was at her therapist when she was gone. So he was, but I mean, I'd be in therapy too if I worked for the government. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's odd to me that she filed a missing persons report after only 3 hours, and that they took a missing persons report after only 3 hours. Because I think you need to be missing for 24 to 48 right,
before
hours.
You can file a missing persons. And
yeah.
so why, like, did law enforcement jump on that like immediately, or did they tell her to wait? Like, you don't know.
I mean, I listened to the call. The dispatcher was, a sweetheart.
Okay.
um, but I think it's odd. I think it's odd of his wife to call the police after only 3 hours
I wonder
of
if
her
I can
being
pull
missing.
up that call.
You know, I mean, it was only 3 hours.
Let's see, Kevin, missing person.
Andy took a gun with him, and there was no sign of foul play, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
I wonder. Now I'm gonna mute this for a second. I don't know how we're gonna do this, but let's see what we can do. It's probably gonna play a fucking ad.
My husband is missing.
Tonight, new audio from the wife of a retired Air Force general got his career following his
were we muted for a minute?
Brain and body keeps deteriorating.
Telling this to the dispatcher.
Other than saying if his brain and body keep deteriorating, he didn't want to live like that. But it seemed to me that was just a, man, I hate how this is going kind of thing.
Okay. Well, it's not the full thing. What I can do is, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, that was her. That was his.
Yeah.
She's sus.
A little bit. I mean, 3 hours later, he's missing.
I mean, she mentioned that, he had been talking about wanting to end things, right? Because of his mental deterioration.
Yeah.
But still, he's missing for 3 hours and you're calling the police already? I mean, I get worried about people too, right? But I'm not calling the police after 3 hours. I don't know. I just find it odd.
Same. I mean, it could have been just like a hey, I went out for milk, and like, fuck you, bitch. Like, like maybe he left her, and
yeah, of course I want to get away from you. You're always on my ass.
Yeah,
leave me alone, lady.
Yeah.
Oh, he probably went and moved in. Remember a couple episodes ago, that guy broke into someone's house because he's like, I gotta get away from this bitch.
Yeah. Another thing too, I wanted to. He did work on, while he was there, nuclear programs. Now he didn't. The Air Force Base didn't have, nuclear material, but they created a lot of the components that go into nuclear bomb making, minus the enriched weapons grade uranium. So that's a little interesting in itself.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on to the next one because we're actually not getting through these as quickly as I thought. All right, so next one is Anthony Chavez. He was in nuclear weapons research. He was retired. He left behind his wallet, and he disappeared May 2025. 2025. I can't talk.
I know nothing about this guy.
Okay, so
you're gonna have to do it.
He was an engineer linked to Los Alamos research. He vanished with little public information. And he's one I think we can move along quicker because there isn't a lot of information. But he's tied to a lab frequently mentioned in national security discussions. Let me see one thing real quick. Doing our little deep dive a little bit. Go ahead. Let's see, Anthony.
Can y'all look into the Gucci Mane situation? I have no idea what that means.
He's a rapper.
No, we're not looking into that. We're talking about scientists.
So he was last seen May 4th, 2025, leaving his home on 37th Street in Los Alamos, New Mexico, on foot. He left behind his car. locked in her driveway, wallet, keys, and cell phone. Despite exhaustive searches by the Los Alamos Police Department and volunteers involving drones and cadaver dogs, no trace of him has been found. He was a longtime resident and retired construction foreman at LANL, a facility famous for its role in the Manhattan Project and ongoing nuclear research. He does have a connection to Carl Grillmeyer, which I don't think we've gotten to yet. Because they are both part of the growing list of scientists. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see. That's about all we know about him. So
yeah, I think it was really sparse to begin with.
It was.
The information on him.
It was. So I have so many papers and notes. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
I feel ya.
You want to go into Steven Garcia real quick?
Steven Garcia. Oh, that is the government contractor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess he was like a janitor.
He was a janitor.
At some government-y place. Do you remember what it was called?
You know.
Okay, well, he was a janitor at some kind of government, I don't know, Air Force thing, somewhere like that. But he had access to, to all of the rooms there, right? So he had like unrestricted access to all of this stuff, right? So he got to, I don't know, read about the aliens, something like that.
So he was last seen leaving his home on foot 2 days before his 48th birthday, right? He left behind his phone, keys, wallet, and car. Wait, that's the same guy, isn't it? Or we're talking about Steven Garcia or who?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a scientist. There weren't many details on him either.
I'm wrong person. Garcia's case, centerpiece of the FBI's current investigation into nearly a dozen scientists. Let's see. There's no trace of him been found. He was part of the Kansas City National Security Campus's role in U.S. defense.
Yeah, but he was a janitor.
He was a janitor, so he had high level clearance at that site and was able to. I thought we had more information on him. I really did.
No, I don't think there was much about him. Let me see.
Because I'm a little confused. Because I could have swore we actually talked about him a little bit before we started the show. And
well, I mean, we were talking about the fact that he was a janitor.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're a janitor, I don't know, are you destroying documents for those bases? Right? That's pretty interesting, right? If he's destroying some kind of top secret information, right, that they don't want to get out to the public, that would be a theory about his disappearance or death. No, he's just disappeared.
Yeah, there's no trace of him.
Mm-hmm.
All right, hold on one second. So he was a high-level government contractor whose role and security clearance have become central to the missing scientist investigation. He disappeared in Albuquerque on August 28th, 2025. He worked at KCNCS Albuquerque. The facility managed by Honeywell is responsible for manufacturing 80% of the non-nuclear components used in a U.S. nuclear deterrent. So I was off on that one. I was trying to go off memory. I should not do that. His work placed him at the heart of America's national defense infrastructure, specifically the procurement and maintenance of sensitive military equipment. So there's that. He held top secret clearance He served as property custodian and overseeing position that gave him wide access within the facility. He was responsible for protection, control, and proper use of high-value assets. And according to reports, he managed tens of hundreds of millions of dollars in sensitive equipment, some which was highly classified. So that's where he kind of comes in with that.
He had classified information.
For sure.
Okay.
All right. Moving on, because we're getting in the weeds, but there's a lot more to go over.
Yes.
Melissa Cassios.
Now, she was the administrative assistant.
Yes.
Yes. Now hers, because she also left behind her phone and her wallet and her keys, and she went out to lunch with her daughter earlier that day. And then she disappeared, right?
Yeah.
She wasn't confirmed dead. Yes, so she disappeared, and the thing that's odd about her is that her phone was wiped clean.
Yeah, it was factory reset.
Factory reset.
Like, who does that?
Well, I've done it. I had to do it before because I was trying to like retrieve old text messages or something, and that's what the phone company told me to do. But when you factory reset your phone, I mean, those times come few and far between. It's like when you get a new phone,
Yep.
right? You're trying to sell it, or you're trying to, I guess, retrieve old text messages.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody's factory resetting their phone.
What else
That's odd.
was with her?
She didn't she work at the same place as
No, Amy did.
Amy Eskridge? No.
She
That's
worked at-
Castland.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Amy Eskridge
Worked in the same places.
but she was an independent researcher.
Oh, you're
No.
right then.
It was
It was.
the hiking
You're right.
lady, Monica. She
You're right.
worked with McCaslin.
Jesus, there's so many people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so this woman was an administrative assistant. I'm sure that an administrative assistant gets a lot of sensitive information, right?
Yeah, it usually passes through her to get to the big people first, right?
Mhm. Yeah. Are you kidding me? She's handling everything.
Yeah.
We all know it. First of all, she's a woman. Second of all, she's an administrative assistant. Yes, she's running the show. Come on.
All right. So, next person. Because there's literally nothing really about her at all.
I mean, her phone was
Yeah.
factory reset.
What was
That's odd.
her disappearance? Is she dead?
She's just disappeared.
Yeah.
But if she did, do something to herself, people don't like to go with holding their secrets, right? So she wouldn't have factory reset her phone herself unless she wanted to disappear and she didn't want people to know where she was. Then I could see her doing that. Right?
Yeah, so there is a connection between her and Chavez.
Oh, Chavez.
They worked at the same place.
Ah.
And she disappeared shortly after him.
Okay.
So there's that connection.
Dun dun dun. Could I just throw out as a little caveat? I don't think that any of this is connected or anything, but it's fun to talk about.
Yeah. So she also worked alongside of her husband, Mark.
What did he do?
That I don't know. Her reports on her clearance level are conflicting. Some investigative reports state she held security clearance and had rare access to federal meetings regarding radioactive cleanup and environmental security. And then, conversely, a private investigator hired by her family claims her role primarily involved purchasing office supplies and that she had no secret life. So there's conflicting reports there.
I also heard about her that she was having some kind of financial issues. And that they were speculating, that because of her financial issues, she might have, I don't know, disappeared herself, ran away.
So she actually had 2 phones. Her personal phone and her government issued work phone.
Which one was wiped clean?
Both of them.
Oh, okay, that's weird.
That is weird, right?
Yes.
So I
odd.
just found that out. And then recently, investigators discovered muddy boots inside her home and what they believe were her sneakers in the nearby Carson National Forest.
Ooh.
So that's a little weird too.
I think she ran away because of her financial problems. I want to run away because of my financial problems.
I don't know if she had fun. It doesn't say anything about that.
I heard in one of the podcasts that I was watching about this, or news report, whatever, I heard that she was having financial problems. I mean, she's an administrative assistant, and in this economy, I mean, we're
right.
all having financial problems. I've thought
right.
about running away. Do you know how many times I've thought about running away to go live in a cave because of financial problems or just any problems? I would love to go. They're probably all in that cave in, what is it, Minnesota, where all that cheese is, that government cheese. That's what they're doing. They don't have money for food, and they don't want to deal with these government people anymore. They're in the cave. They're like, I know where to get some American cheese.
There was also, there's a theory of voluntary disappearance, similar to that other lady, right? Her husband and daughter.
Which other lady?
The one, was it not Amy, but no, the guy, Cassland.
Oh, McCaslin.
Yeah, McCaslin. So, the husband and daughter have publicly stated they believe Melissa may have walked away voluntarily to start a new life because she felt overwhelmed by these personal and financial burdens.
Mm-hmm. I told you.
Yeah. So there's that. So, but that's odd that there's literally two people disappeared kind of similarly, and they also have like family members saying, "Hey, this might have been just them stepping away." But that's kind of weird. I don't know. That wouldn't be my first thought. Like if Ashley disappeared, like, oh well, maybe she was overwhelmed. You know what I mean? Like, I would, months and months and months later. But when did she disappear? Do you know? 2025 maybe.
2020 June of 2025.
So less than a year.
I mean, listen, maybe it's a woman thing, but I have fantasized about running away so many times. I mean, even just to a hotel room for, I don't know, a week. I'm going to turn my phone off and I'm just going to go to a hotel room. I can watch whatever I want on TV. Someone's going to come and clean for me. I always think about disappearing. It might be a woman thing. Yeah. Was she married? Regardless.
She was married. She had a kid.
Was?
I was just talking
she
about
had a
that.
kid?
Yeah.
And a husband?
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's interesting. The main thing that sticks out to me is the fact that her government and personal phone was erased.
Mm-hmm.
That part, like you don't typically leave your phone behind if you're leaving, though.
Yeah.
Like you still need it for shit. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I never leave. She went to go get lunch with her daughter. I would never leave without my phone. Like, what are you gonna do when you're standing in line waiting for your food? Talk to people? God. Like, you need your
like
phone.
even when I'm sitting around like on a plane or like an airport or whatever,
yeah,
I'm playing little stupid games on my phone.
Right.
You go on TikTok, whatever. I guess if you're trying to disappear, that's a good thing. But like, maybe that's what it was. I don't know. It's weird.
Probably. I mean, my guess is she is in a hotel room or somewhere, or in the cheese cave, with her feet up. She doesn't have to worry about taking care of this stupid house, all of this stuff that she thought she wanted.
Yeah.
She disappeared herself.
So the next one, Monica Reslow. She's interesting because she did work on projects with that were led by McCasland. She's the one that has the connection.
Monica Reza.
Yeah.
She's the one that was hiking.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and she was working with McCasland.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, she worked in NASA JPL, which is that the Air Force Base material scientist, disappeared while hiking in Los Angeles National Forest. No trace found despite search efforts.
Mm-hmm.
Had patents tied to the Air Force funded research. And connected professionally to later missing figure McCasland.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's interesting there.
She was hiking with a group of people. There were 3 people on that hiking trip with her. And one of them got tired. I don't know, tuckered out halfway between right in the hike. And then she was just with one other gentleman. And he like called out to her, "Hey, come up here," something like that. Turned around, saw her, and then turned back around again, and she was just gone.
Huh.
Uh-huh. That one is strange. But I know that people go missing hiking, right? You fall down a cliff, right? You fall into a
but that quickly?
crack. Yeah, right. But yeah, there was no scream, right?
Yeah.
He said, well, no, his story changed actually, because I
Did it?
think at one point he said, yeah, she was about 30 yards behind me when I called out to her. And then his story later changed to 30 feet. But why would you call out to somebody at 30 feet? How loud do you have to shout to somebody who's 30 feet away, right? And why would you use the word call out?
How many feet are in a yard? I don't know.
3. I think there's like 3 something feet in a yard. So
that's
30 yards. 30 yards would be like 90 feet, give or take.
Yeah. I mean, that's a decent amount of.
Well, yeah, you'd have to call out to somebody there. Hey,
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, missing person cases in general are just weird.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the point.
Yeah, I think all of the thing is, I think all of the cases, yes, are weird. I mean, but if you dig into anything long enough, it's going to become weird.
Yeah.
I personally don't think that these scientist cases are connected at all. I mean,
so
they're reaching.
The next one, Carl Grillmare.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this one specifically has already been ruled a homicide. They actually have somebody in custody. So he was an astrophysicist. He did a lot of research into dark matter. And he was shot on his porch by 29-year-old Freddie Snyder, who shortly before that actually carjacked one of his family members. So in this one, besides the fact that he worked for NASA, and it definitely doesn't seem connected in any way. I think they're reaching a little bit on this one.
I think that they're reaching on all of them, you know, to make connections, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he was in Caltech astrophysicist, shot in his home. And to make clear, it's likely unrelated personal dispute. And then, but he's still pulled into the broader narrative just because he was an astrophysicist. But there's no, like, connection at all with any of the others. At least some of the other ones that we've talked about.
He was a scientist.
Yeah, that's about it.
I mean, astrophysicist.
Yeah.
Sounds like UFO stuff to me.
All right, so to move this along, because we're running short on time already.
Yeah, and we want people to be able to call in,
yeah.
right?
Let's see. So we have, I think, was that it? Was that all of them?
I mean, that's the ones that I wanted to talk about. Because there wasn't a lot of detail about a lot of them because the media's reaching for a story to keep us distracted from something else, right?
Yeah.
You know?
So one of the things
Because
I will say,
putting together the pieces of these missing scientists, that's fine. This isn't going to give me an anxiety attack. The Epstein files? What about
yeah.
that? I don't want to look into it though. I can't. Yeah, this is a nice distraction.
So additional context and kind of the to summarize, the four main ones that are there's another one that we didn't touch on all. Jason Thomas. I don't even see him in here.
Thomas.
I don't see him at all.
He was a scientist.
He was a
He
scientist,
disappeared.
but he
Here's the details.
drowning, no foul play.
Oh yes, I did
Yeah.
hear about that guy.
Yeah, Joshua LeBlanc, fatal car crash. Even though the surrounding, the whole airport thing's kind of weird.
Yes.
The fact that there's not really any body. Well, there's a body, but it's beyond recognition, so we don't know 100%.
They got that black box
Yeah.
data.
And then Amy, whose death was ruled a suicide, even though she specifically text people shortly before all this saying if it came back as suicide, it's not.
Yeah.
Which is really
Don't
odd.
believe them. I don't believe them.
What's being done? So the investigations are being led by the FBI, Department of Defense, Department of Energy, local law enforcement, also congressional briefings requested by House Oversight Committee. And so far, other than the couple things we've put together, which could absolutely not be right.
I don't know what we put together.
Well, there are connections between a couple of them. Like Monica, I believe, was that Monica?
Mm-hmm.
That was, she worked under McCaslin, and then that administrative assistant actually worked with Garcia. So those two may be connected together, but maybe not to the whole picture.
I mean, they were both hikers too. Maybe they ran up. They wanted to have an affair, right? McCaslin's wife is on his ass 24/7, filing missing persons reports after 3 hours. I mean, maybe they just wanted to run away and live in peace and quiet in the cheese cave. Who knows?
So one thing we do know for sure is that the cases involve different causes, like missing persons, homicide, accidents. Experts do warn about connecting unrelated events, and pattern recognition can lead to false assumptions. I think this is the time now where we can actually take some callers.
Wait, before you
What's that?
have them call in, one more thing that they're doing, if anybody out there has any information, they can call 1-800 call FBI.
Yep.
225-5324. Now that's for information that you may have on any of these missing people.
All right. So, time for the call-ins. 216-714-3030. It's in the top left corner of your screen. If you have any type of thoughts or your own little conspiracy theories, we'd love to hear it. While I'm waiting, I am going to one question I do have for you, Amy.
What is that?
Have you ever seen a UFO?
Yeah.
You have?
Mm-hmm.
All right, you have to explain now.
My sister and I were driving, and we saw a little light in the sky, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it shot across the sky, and then it was shooting all across the sky, and then we started trying to follow it and find it, and it was just shooting I don't know, miles across the sky, back and forth. It was definitely a UFO. And I know this guy. I won't say his name, because I don't want the government or whoever coming after me for knowing this information. So there was this dude. Dude. I don't know if we went on a date or I don't know what it was. So I went. We'll just call it.
How do you not know if you went on a date with this
I think
person?
in his mind it was a date. In my mind it was like, all right, we could hang out. I could see what kind of, stuff flies out of your mouth. And let me tell you, a lot of stuff flew out of his mouth. This guy was a bodyguard for a lot of government people. I won't tell you who, but I've seen pictures of him with presidents, right? So he was a bodyguard for, politicians, things like that. Well, on this date, we went and ate whatever. He wanted me to come see his apartment. The walls of his apartment had math equations all over them. It was freaky. I'm like, all right, well, I think I gotta go home, right? So he goes to drive me back to my car, and he's telling me all of this alien stuff because he said he was at a dinner or some kind of party with all of these politicians, and they all ended up getting drunk, and they told him all of this stuff that they knew about UFOs and aliens. And then this guy proceeded to tell me, maybe to try to seduce me. I don't know. But he had math equations written all over his walls. Why? I don't know. Because he knows some kind of...
Was he Sherlock Holmes? Like, what the fuck is going on?
He's like some bodyguard. He's like he's all like buff, whatever.
But he has math equations on his walls.
But I think he started putting the math equations on his walls after the politicians told him about the aliens. But then he's telling me all of this stuff. He's like, Amy, you gotta know this information. And I'm like, do I really? I gotta go home. I don't want to know more. But honestly, I believe him. I believe that all of these politicians, all of this stuff, that's why I don't think that these missing people went missing because they knew about the aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Because they all know, and they're telling, civilians, this bodyguard, right?
Yeah.
About it. So why aren't all of the politicians missing?
I don't know.
Why is it just these specific individuals?
Well, they're not politicians or scientists.
Right. Well, the politicians know about it.
Well, they
and
do
they're
now.
not, and their lips are not sealed about it.
Mm-hmm.
Is the thing. They're just spewing out all of this information that they know about aliens to random bodyguards that go off and try to pick up chicks with this information.
Well, I think that most people would just be like, well, if he tells anyone, they're just going to think he's crazy anyways. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of situation.
I don't think I do think he's crazy, but I also believe him.
Yeah. Well, see, there you go.
Did you ever see a UFO?
I have not.
Oh,
So
that's
I'm
so
very
sad.
boring. Yeah, I'm very boring. There's been times where I thought like maybe, but then it turned out to be like some sort of like plane or
Airplane.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. A few years ago, I was taking out my garbage, and it was like twilight time, right? And I saw.
You mean like the movies and books?
No, it was like twilight. Like it was dusk, right? So it was like.
Are you Team Edward or Team Jacob?
That's not what I'm talking about, but I'm Team Edward. That I'm talking about. It was about 7 p.m. The sun was just going down. It was getting a little bit dark. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I'm coming back from throwing out my garbage, and I see in the sky, boop, 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 boop. It looked like a tennis bracelet of lights. I don't know, probably like 20, 30 lights. Boop, 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 across the sky. I lost it. I'm like, that's it. The aliens are coming. I'm gonna die. So I started calling people to find somebody who I could go and be with so I didn't have to be alone during the alien apocalypse. I was really freaking out. Well, come to find out it was, what is it? The other Elon Musk thing. The
Starlink?
Starlink. It was Starlink.
There you go. Gotcha.
I was so scared. I'm like, this cannot be explained. This is the alien task force coming. You know, and they're going to be down here within a couple of minutes because I just saw all of their boop, 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 boop.
I like those sound effects. That's awesome.
Terrifying.
All right. Well, apparently nobody wants to call in and share their either ideas. I wanted to know if you guys thought these cases are connected or coincidental. If this is being underreported or overhyped. Should the government be more transparent? And apparently, you know, listeners are quiet today, which is disappointing.
They're all terrified.
It's okay. Maybe they just don't want to say something so they're not disappeared next. Maybe they'll, you know.
They're going to come back next week and there's going to be math equations on the walls.
Yeah, there you go. But we are closing in on around an hour. Typically the show's 45 minutes. So we are going to end the show with this. These are real cases, real people, real investigations. Right now, there are more questions and answers. And we're only sharing our thoughts and opinions. We have no idea. We are not researchers. We are not in law enforcement. Just to be perfectly clear, we're basically morons that decided to chat GPT a bunch of shit and talk about it today.
I watched a bunch of podcasts about it.
Oh, there you go.
You know, but I can't keep this stuff in order in my head.
Yeah, so we did a horrible job of keeping this together and in order, but I think for the most part we got the points across.
It was fun.
And it was fun, right?
Yeah, it really was fun. You gave me something to do all week, right?
For sure.
Something to look into.
For sure.
And it's always fun chatting with you.
Absolutely. With that being said, we will see you all next week. Have a